It's been 5 years since charming bartender Chris Mader was gunned down on Thanksgiving Day 2004. And investigators believe a local thug named Matt Correll might be the triggerman. Now, they've learned his friend, Jake Mallard, has an inside scoop that could lead to Matt's arrest, giving new hope to Chris's family and friends.
I never gave up that little bit of hope that whoever was responsible for this would be held accountable. I think we all knew that someone was going to be held accountable.
6 years after Chris Mader's murder, detectives confront Matt Correll at his home. Even with the confessions of Jake and Brent, Matt doesn't own up to the killing. And after evading a round of questions, he lawyers up. But it's too late.
Investigators finally had enough to issue an arrest warrant to put Matt in handcuffs, which they did, but he never said anything about any involvement with Chris's death.
Matt Correll is charged with first-degree murder for the killing of Chris Mader, which shocks everyone.
I found out the police had charged Matt because an old coworker of mine sent me a link to the newspaper, and I was overjoyed. I was very happy that someone was finally being held accountable for what happened to Chris.
Out of the blue, I was ambushed by that news. I mean, Chris Mader, they solved the Chris Mader case, stopped the press. It was big news, it was shocking news, but for the people in Waldorf, great news. Great relief, great sense of justice.
On June 29, 2012, almost 8 years after the murder of Chris Mader, Matt Correll is tried and found guilty of first-degree murder. He's sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Yet Matt maintains his innocence and is appealing his conviction. Chris's friends and family can only hope he'll stay behind bars forever.
It's always in the back of my mind, and you're always wondering about who's around you and why, what they're up to, make sure they're not rolling down their windows, You just became a lot more aware of your surroundings, which prior to that point, I really didn't think so much of it, I mean, I grew up in a small town where you know everybody and you feel safe, and I had that same feeling here in Waldorf before that point. But then after that point, you're always wondering about the guy comes up next to you in the light or at the light, late at night or something, He's got one eye. You always have the one eye to the right, one eye to the left, it seems like. But before that point, I wouldn't have ever noticed. I wouldn't even notice there was a guy next to me, probably. Yeah, I think all of us as parents could definitely identify with, with their children, and you just hold them a lot closer to you, and you hug and kiss them and tell them you love them every day, and you're just a lot more. I'm grateful that my kids are alive and well today. Yeah.